Scheduled intimacy. Is it cool or is it corny? That's today's topic on the Mars Mindset. So, in the busy world of chasing the bag and going to work and raising kids and spending time with friends and all of the other things that us mere mortals do, sometimes intimacy gets overlooked. So the question today on the Mars Mindset is scheduling intimacy cool or is it corny? So I'd like to get a couple people in here to have the conversation with me. That'd be great. And on a personal note, I'm really tired. I'm extremely tired because I got forced to work overtime today. But I'll probably edit this part out. This is just for my people who know me. Anyway, let's invite somebody in and see, would they rather have scheduled intimacy or just wing it and see whatever happens when it happens. Let's roll the dice. If you're in here today, I might invite you in. You never know. You can just hit the button and decline if you don't want to be in here. All right, let's see what we got. Yo!
What's going on?
Peace, King. How you feeling?
Chilling. Another day. Busy as always.
Cool. Julie Bain, how you feeling?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear both of y'all. Both of y'all in the car. Everybody drives in the car on my show, so that's okay. Julie Bain, ladies first.
I think if you have a busy lifestyle, you should absolutely schedule it. But I'm also the type of person that appreciates spontaneous moments.
Okay.
So it really depends.
So it depends. So if you need it, then allow that to be the thing that allows you to make sure that you have that intimate time. But if you
Yeah,
don't need it, then it's okay to wing it and just kind of see what happens.
yeah, because I have experienced where we were both so busy that before you know it, it was like almost a whole 3 weeks. And I was like, wait, something ain't right here. So that's why I'm like, if schedules are really tight, then put that in your calendar so that way you don't lose that connection. Because life happens.
Okay. What up, Dr. Hulk, in the comments? Hopefully you can come on today. I'd like your opinion too. Tyrell, that's how you say your name, right? Tyrell, right?
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Scheduled intimacy. What are your thoughts on that? You think it's cool? You think it's corny? What do you think?
I think you have to have a mix of both. I kind of agree. Because, okay, for me at least, one, most of my relationship is long distance. Two, I just spent the last 6 to 8 weeks traveling, job prospecting, my fiance and I. And while we were job prospecting, our schedules were extremely crazy. We were in 3 different states and 3 different time zones. And by the time we were done trying to have a conversation and everything, before we knew it, we were trying to go to bed and didn't even think twice about anything else. And mind you, we had our normal routine. We did our normal like, good morning, love you, shower. We were right beside each other, but that was the last thing on our mind.
Do you have
And
kids?
so, no, no, we don't have kids yet, but we're both. So, like, my fiance is a practicing scientist. She's writing her dissertation for her PhD. I am a real estate agent, traveling to develop teams and also trying to find another state to get my real estate license in. So we're in meetings. We both were in meetings all day. Like, our first meeting would start at 8 o'clock in the morning, and our last meeting was dinner with the people that we met with, and that started at 6 o'clock at night. We were not thinking about anything else. So in that
Yeah.
same space, we were like, all right, last night in each of these states, we was just like, you want to know what? Let's just schedule this in. We'll do whatever we're gonna do, and then we'll take that time, block out our allotted space, and we don't. If we don't, we don't. But this space is allotted for that.
Right.
But we do also still enjoy our random spontaneous moments. So yes, I think it's a mix of both based off of your lifestyle where you have to figure
Mhm.
out what you need at that time. If you're busy, yes, schedule it up cuz schedule it up.
Yeah, no, and I was just asking that because like you guys have a lot on your plate. So imagine people that have that plus children. That's why I think it's so important to schedule it in too. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with putting it in your calendar ahead of time because everything happens and the days and the nights just go by and before you know it, like you said, you're like, oh, it's been how long? And
Mm.
I think, in relationships, that is, well, at least for me, that's like a stress reliever, to be honest.
Yes, it is.
So I absolutely need that in my life.
But I think it's important, like at least for, and I can't say this for everyone, but at least for me and my relationship, we try to schedule date night.
Yeah. Hmm.
We try to schedule it when we're in the same state. We try to schedule it for one night while we're in the same state. If not, we try to schedule it one night during the week where we will do pretty much everything the same as if we're in the same space,
Hmm.
but we'll like for not for example, we'll turn on Disney Plus and we'll do a sync movie. We'll find dinner and we'll order the same cuisine. If we're ordering Indian food, I'm gonna order what I like from an Indian restaurant. You order what you want from an Indian restaurant. We're gonna sit down at the same time. We're gonna be in our pajamas. We're gonna do whatever until the end of our night. So if you can
Wow.
take the time to, like for me and my relationship, if we could take the time in our busy schedule to do that, why can't we take the time to schedule our other bonding moments to
Yeah.
keep that as a regular practice? Because statistically proven, relationships that lack intimacy tend to have more strain and more stress, more infidelity, and tend to have more higher likelihood of breaking up. That's not for every relationship, but that's for the general population.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's finances number one, and then intimacy is number two in the ranking order as to why people end up getting divorced. But let me ask you this: there's an argument that I've heard before that when you schedule it, it kind of takes the, I don't know, the zest out of it. It's kind of like like it becomes like a job. Like my job has me scheduled to be there tonight at 10:30, and I'm not really that excited about going. Right, so it's like, you know, I'm real to Tyrell. I've been out here selling these houses a day, or I'm his fiance or girlfriend, and she's dissertationing, and it's like, oh shoot, you know what, man? You know, we got this. I got this on my schedule, and I'm kind of tired. How does that? What's y'all's opinion on that aspect of it?
Ladies first.
So my ex used to tell me that I would rather have intimacy than water, sleep, and food. So I cannot answer that question because I would rather give up all that other stuff for a moment of intimacy, with my partner. But that's how I've always been. Like I was never too tired. So
Facts. I could work a 20-hour shift and be
I was
and
never
have
too
energy.
tired.
But I think it's all about your mindset going into it
Yeah.
because um with me having to have scheduled it, I think we found a way to just make that moment what it was. Like we're gonna do all the things as if it was spontaneous. So like if it was, oh well, put on this and let's do this and let's have this here, why can't we have that same structure in a planned thing? Oh, I got you this. This is something new. Why don't you put on this when we set up this time? Or let's use these things to set up this time. And that's how we know we're ready. So I think it's your mindset, because your mindset is categorizing it in the same space. Because you don't categorize your paycheck or when you're scheduled to get paid, but you categorize the fact that you had to schedule your intimate moment.
So
So
what?
payday is always good, no
So
matter
what you?
when payday is.
I'm trying to make sure I understand the connection, the I don't know, the metaphor that you're using with the paycheck. You said you don't schedule your paycheck.
Like
What do you?
your paycheck comes in on a scheduled time frame. If
Uh
it
huh.
comes in on every Friday, that's just your payday.
Uh huh.
If you have to schedule in your intimate moment every Friday, you ain't mad that your paycheck came every Friday. So why are you mad that your intimate moment came on Friday at the same time? It's the
Mm.
same thing. You worked all week, you did what you needed to do, so now you have this moment of gratification. Your
Mm.
paycheck is a moment of gratification. Your
Yeah.
time spent working, making sure that your family was okay, making sure that the kids were fed, the house was clean, the bills were paid, everything else. That's still working.
Yeah,
So now you work, and your gratification is you got your stuff set.
I think that's a really good way of looking at it. But I think that I agree with you. So I'm not giving you any pushback. I'm kind of like just adding to it a little bit. I think that sometimes people see intimacy as more of a chore than a reward, right? And that goes to what you're saying. Like it's the mindset thing. Um, so now with with paychecks we have direct deposit, so you don't have to actually do anything to get the benefit or the fruits of your labor. It just hits your bank account. Everything is seamless, right? But if there was back in the day when you had to go actually cash your check and stand in line and all of that, you'd be like, yeah, I mean, I want this check and I want this money, but I don't really feel like standing in line. And I think that for some people, the scheduled intimacy part is kind of like, it's like the standing in line. Like it'll be cool once I get the money, right? Once I'm the first up and the lady's ready to take my check and give me my money. But up until that point, I'm kind of like, I gotta stand in line. I gotta drive over here, stand in line, go to the liquor store, cash a check or whatever.
So I'm gonna tell on myself right now,
Okay.
because in my past relationship, intimacy was a chore. Intimacy was a chore. It wasn't what I wanted to do, because at that point in my relationship, I was over it. But I
Right.
did it because I knew it was a part of my relationship. It was a part of my relationship duties. But it was my mindset, because if you think that intimacy is a chore, rather scheduled or spontaneously, intimacy is going to always be a chore for you, no matter whether if it's spontaneous or if it's scheduled. So the moment that you make it a chore in your mindset, it doesn't matter when or where you're going to have your intimate moment. It's always going to be a chore to you, especially if you don't enjoy it with the person. If you don't enjoy that person, yes, it is a chore. Because do I want to wash dishes? No, but I made dishes and now I have to wash them. I'm in a relationship, and part of me being in this relationship, if I set that standard that we are intimate, now that is part of my obligation in that space.
Mm. So like you said, it's all about mindset. Let's Julie, you got a response to that while I bring somebody else in? See if
Yeah.
my
I
dialogue.
don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
So I have not experienced what he just said. Um, so I can't, I don't understand that. Like, if I'm with you, I want to be intimate with you. I don't know that feeling of not wanting that with whoever I'm with. So
I guess maybe I was just in the wrong. I was in that space. I was in the wrong relationship because it was definitely not. I know I was in the wrong relationship, so it became a
and
chore.
and guess where I'm at, Chels?
Where you at?
Lowe's.
It looked like you're at Home Depot.
Yep,
What you about?
Home Depot.
You about to build you a shed?
I'm about to find me a man.
Oh, hey, that's good. Guy, what's happening?
What's happening?
I'm gonna get off.
Good to see you, my brother.
Likewise, bro. How you feeling?
I'm chilling. I'm honestly, I'm tired, but it's all good. Julie, you say you're getting ready to get off?
Yeah, because the connection is gonna drop.
All right, just come back in once you go back out. Once you come out, you come back out with your newfound man, and y'all can go schedule something.
Bye.
All right, peace out. All right, Guy, what was you saying in the comments, bro?
Basically, if it's a chore, if it feels like a chore, man, you ain't with the right person. That's what I was saying. I mean, I feel like, when you with the right person, you want to spend time with them. You know what I'm saying? Whether you apart, whether you got to work, whether you're an entrepreneur, whatever the case may be, I believe that you will be willing to actually sit down and have a conversation with a significant other to schedule time to link up with each other. I mean, that's what you did in the beginning. Ain't nothing wrong with scheduling time. Nothing wrong at all with scheduling time to link up and, go out on a date, schedule date nights and things of that nature. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. That should be exciting. You know what I'm saying? That should be exciting. Or you can plan it like my man was talking about the paycheck. You could plan it like a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? It could be planned for a Friday or a Saturday, or we gonna always go out to eat at the church on Sunday, or whatever the case may be. You can plan it like that. There's nothing wrong with planning it, but you just gotta make sure you're with the right person so it don't feel like a strain or a stress. Because as a man, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. As a man, when you got your one, you want to be with them, and I'm pretty sure it's the same way with a woman. You want to be with them. Life gets in the way. I get that. Kids, school, work, things of that nature, that gets in the way, but you got to handle those things as well. But yeah, we should be scheduling time where we can actually link up together. It's me and it's you, and we could talk about some of the things that, and I think those are the perfect times to actually talk about some of the things y'all could be going through in life, or talk about some of the things that y'all could be making better in the relationship, some of the things that you could be making better when it comes to finances. I think those are the best times to actually do it because of the environment. And what I mean by that is you're actually around a good environment. You know what I'm saying? Y'all eating, y'all having a good time, you enjoying each other. That's the perfect time to bring up something that you want to talk about.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And talk it through. Because you're not mad, I'm not mad. We having a good time. Let's talk it through now.
Oh, you know what? That just gave me a good question for both of y'all, right? So both of y'all agree that scheduling intimacy is a good thing, right? What happens if we have intimacy scheduled on, say, Friday, because Friday's payday, but on Wednesday we get into it? So now one person ain't really trying to be in the meeting, because like when I go to work, whether I get mad at my coworker or my supervisor or whatever, I still got to show up to this meeting and do these things. So what's y'all's opinion on, because we've scheduled it, so it's in there, or do we just use that time to work out our differences? Because in my mind, I'm like, even though we beefing, I should still be able to get down on the get down.
See, here's my question. I'm gonna give you a question back.
Sure.
Are we really the two become one in a relationship, right? Especially when you marry, two become one. So are we really beefing, or is there a miscommunication?
Well,
Do
I
we
mean,
have to get down to the bottom of something for both of us to have a good relationship? This ain't just about me getting my point across. It ain't about you getting your point across. It's about us getting this, whatever it is that's going on, ironing it out, you know what I'm saying, and figuring out the best way to handle it or deal with it, just in case if it was to come up again. You know what I'm saying? We know how to handle that situation. A lot of
well,
people don't think of the miscommunications like that. They don't think about, oh, I'm angry at you. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be angry. Like, why you want to be angry? That don't make sense. You just want to be mad. Like, when you mad, I'm upset
Yeah.
because
Can
we
I jump
won.
in?
Go ahead, bro.
So first, somebody in the comments said we can do what we need to do and be mad afterwards. I agree partially with that, but then also I want to add in maybe because intimacy is multifaceted. So maybe we need to take that moment and figure out why you still mad from Wednesday to Friday, if that's the timeline that we're using, which could help increase our emotional intimacy, our connective energy, so that we can be more connected and figure out because if it's something that I did that triggered you, we already scheduled time to be together. So now let's use that time that we scheduled to be together. And I don't got to be in your pants, but I can be in your head.
So to respond to what the question that Guy asked, I do think there are times when different people actually like have beef, like they actually are at odds. But I think most arguments and disagreements are either from a miscommunication or a lack of communication, right? If
Right.
you think about the way in which we communicate, because we use words as shortcuts for our full thoughts and feelings, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I think what happens is a lot of times we'll use the shortcuts, the words, but the person receiving it is only receiving the shortcut version, right?
Yep.
But once
I
you actually
like it.
sit down and be like, this means that, and that's what this means, and you break it all down, y'all might still disagree, right? But at least we have a more full understanding of each other's
Understand.
perspective.
There it is. There it is. And I
You know
like
what I'm saying?
I like the fact that you said you called it a shortcut because sometimes that's what it is. Like in the moment, this is all I can give you. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta process. I gotta process what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get my mind right. I gotta get my words together so that I make sure that when I'm coming off, it's not to tear you down or anything like that, but for you to understand how I'm receiving this beef that we having. I need you
Of
to
course.
understand that, and that takes time. I'm not gonna give you the shortcut version. I want to give you the version that's gonna actually heal the situation or fix the situation, whatever the case may be. But we need to come to an understanding because it's not me versus you. This is a us thing. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I'm not here to tear you down, and I know you're not here to tear me down, or I wouldn't have chose you, right? But this is a us thing. You know what I'm saying? When we get this together, it makes us better. It makes the relationship better, and both of us are in this relationship.
And
Okay,
sometimes when you're dealing with conflict, it is better to take a moment to digest
Yep.
so that you actually understand everything that just happened. Like I am a believer of if our argument gets to if our disagreement gets to a certain point, we now need to end this conversation, take a breather, let's regroup in an hour, a day, whatever time frame we need to regroup in so that we can revisit this conversation and talk about it because I don't yell. I don't yell anymore because it raises my blood pressure, gives me a migraine, all that other stuff. So if I feel like like we're getting to a point where I need to yell, okay, cool. I'm done with this conversation for the moment. If you want to continue this conversation, by all means, you can continue this conversation, but you'll be continuing it by yourself. And I'm going to take a breather moment.
Mm-hmm.
And
hey, Guy.
I do that. I do that with any conversation.
Cool. Yeah, I'm big on the taking time to gather your thoughts, understand your emotions, because to me, emotions are really complex to deal with. Thoughts are a little bit easier because you can compartmentalize them. You can hold two conflicting thoughts at the same time. But to be angry, sad, frustrated, and irritated, and not be able to know which one is the dominant one, that can really take time to filter up into the mind, out the mouth. But I had a question for Guy. Have you ever been in a relationship where uh the intimacy lacked not because of you, but because the young lady would be like, "Oh, I'm tired."
That's tough. That's a tough question.
You can just
Let
say
me.
yes or no if you don't want to go answer.
No, I'm trying. I'm thinking because I don't think that ever has happened. 'Cause that's normally what women like. They like intimacy, man, and I'm an affectionate person, so yeah. Nah, that don't. Nah, not the woman saying I'm tired. Nah.
Have you ever been tired? You ever had it and you be like, look, I'm tired tonight, baby. I worked a lot. You know, I did 30 cuts today. Everybody wanted a special. Yeah, just rub my hands.
Facts, bro. Playing my hair, baby. Playing my hair. I get there. You feel me? Like I think the reason why relationships are as long as they are because you're learning one another. You know what I'm saying? You're learning one another. You got to know what makes me want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I have to know what makes you want to do that. I have to understand your facial expressions, your body language and, things of that nature. You're supposed to be trying to understand all of these. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you just get and you got it. Over time, you will get it. Over time, you will get it. Rich and poor, sickness and health, all of that, like over time. You got to go through some things. You got to go through some things. But as you go through them, I hope you're processing them. I hope y'all are both processing them. You understand what I'm saying? So if she was tired, I would have to understand. That's my baby. I would want to understand, you know what I'm saying? All right, what's going on, right? But once I understand that, all right, I know when to do it and when not to do it. I know when to turn it on and when not to try to turn it on. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to irritate her. These are things that you should be trying to figure out. These are things you should be trying to figure out about your partner. Absolutely.
So I agree. I agree with you there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I ain't giving you no pushback.
No doubt.
Add to that, though, there's a step that, in my opinion, there's a step that occurs before that. And that's the stuff, right? Because it's going to be very difficult for you to learn her if she doesn't know her. So the same way you're trying to be and you can learn stuff about her that she doesn't necessarily know. I'm not saying you can't.
That's real.
I'm saying the chemistry and the way in which things flow will be a lot easier if both of y'all know yourselves, right?
Right.
Then you may be wondering, like, oh, why is she this way? She could just tell you, but you could spend years trying to learn something because she don't know it, you don't know it, and y'all sitting there beefing. It's like, oh, that's because you don't know yourself, and I can't know you if you don't know you. I can only know
that's real.
Parcels.
But you can also like to join in on the whole "is she tired" thing because every female is a little bit different. You said that you ain't had one like that. I know my fiance sometimes can be a little tired, but she may be tired and not ready for a physical intimacy, but she may want a foot rub, which an act of service is another form of intimacy for her.
That's intimacy.
It's one of her love languages.
Absolutely.
Is why I said it's different. Like you have to figure out what form of intimacy your partner needs and or wants at that time. Yes, you can schedule the intimacy. You can schedule it and say we're going to the bed, but going to the bed can mean we going to the bed so that we can talk, so that we can connect to each other mentally, or it can mean that we can connect to each other physically, or it can mean I rub your feet. And like for me, I love when my fiance rubs my back or scratches my back. My back don't even have to be itchy. She could just rub her for an hour.
Oh, hey guys, he breaking up on your end.
Yeah, I was about to ask you the same question.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so like there's different levels of intimacy where it could just be physical touch. It doesn't have to be penetrative. It could just be physical touch. It can be communication. It can be an act of service. It can be quality time. Whatever that intimacy is for your partner, I think you need to learn your partner so that you know when to be in what realm of intimacy that your partner needs. Because not all the time, like there was a video that I seen earlier today, and it was just like it was this female, she was saying that she didn't like telling her husband her issues because her husband was always trying to problem solve. And so she was just like, FYI guys, she was just like, if your wife or your partner comes to you and says something, not all the time do they want you to solve their problem.
That's the truth though.
Sometimes they want you to listen and just be
That's
there.
true.
She's just like listen, and then let's go out to go get some ice cream, or let's go out to do something so that we can just bond over this moment. and not try to fix it, because they may not want you to fix it. They may want to figure it out themselves. So in that same thing is learning your partner to figure out what level of intimacy or what form of intimacy they want at that point in time.
That's real. That sometimes they don't want you to say no, and vice versa for us too. Sometimes we just want them to listen. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes the woman wants you to be like, "What? No, she didn't. What?
Yep.
No, like that's what she wants you to be. She wants you to be present. You understand what I'm saying? Like not necessarily give her the answer to the problem, because truth be told, she just venting. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to listen. So you just give it a what? No. No, she didn't.
So
You get
like
it?
to piggyback off of that, like me and my girl, we have a petty streak. Like we could be petty at times, and so one of the things that, and I always do this when when she tells me something, I'll go to the first petty reaction that I can think of, and she's like, I was thinking the same thing, and we'll just laugh about it. But it took that moment of her frustration and made us laugh and made her like
Yeah.
really calm down about it, even though that we know we really ain't gonna do whatever petty thing that I could think about. Like I could be like, oh, let's go put sugar in a gas tank since she bothered me
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah. That's
Like
how you do it. That's how you do it.
So what
Not
I
really, not going to put sugar in the gas tank, but that's how you diffuse the, you know what I'm saying, and make light of a serious situation. That's good. I might have to use that one, bro.
so I think too, like to add to what y'all saying, or to put a label on it, there's a superpower in communication. It's
What?
validation. It's validation, right? Most of the time when people have a problem, they already know some of their options to solve it, right? They
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
really just want you to tell them, I can see why you feel the way you feel. I'd feel irritated, frustrated, angry, sad, feeling the emotion too. And once you do that, and it doesn't even have to be in your relationship. I'm just talking about in general. Like I do it on the live. And that's why people come talk to me, because I validate them. And I ain't necessarily got to agree. In my mind, I could be like, man, this joint's simple. Like, this super simple. I
Mm-hmm.
got a solution,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not here for a solution. You here for
Straight up.
validation. But something that I learned, too, is I think men are fixers. And we don't like to see women
That's real.
struggle with something that we, in our mind, we have an answer to. So what I'll do is I'll try to be like, I mean, did you want my opinion? Or did you just want to
Right.
listen? You know what I'm
Just to
saying?
get clarity, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. To piggyback off of that, to like, and just to sum up all this, there's a book. I can't think of the title of it right now. I have to find it and I'll go back and put it up. Where it was this guy and he pretty much would let people talk to him, and he became like a source where everyone loved his personality and would go to him and talk to him, and he would be like, I wouldn't do anything but just listen. I said nothing but listened. And he's just like giving the people space to talk their selves about themselves and
Mm-hmm.
never bring anything else back but just like a common, like he could be like, okay, yeah, that sounds good, that sounds good, never changing the topic. And people were just like, oh yeah, I had a great conversation with blah blah blah. And at the end of the book he was just like, it's all because I just listened to these people and said nothing, so they talked about themselves for hours.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's God. I think guys stuck. Dr. Hawk, you coming in here today? We would love to get your perspective on this. I know you probably at Planet Fitness getting your workout on and all of that good stuff. We'll give let's give Dr. Hawk. Hey, Dr. Hawk, if you want to come in, just let me know. We're gonna try to get a young lady in here to get another female's perspective, because we had Julie being in here. Let's see if Vicky willing to come in and tell us. Oh, a guy left. I think guy either had lost service or had to drop out. Come on, Vicky, where you at? Did Vicky leave? Yeah, I think Vicky left. All right, cool. I'm sorry. What was the last thing you were saying? I lost
I
you.
was just mentioning about a book where, and it's a communication book, and pretty much the gentleman, to sum up the book really quickly, he just said that people would consider him a great conversation, to have great conversation, because while he talked to people, he let people talk to him, instead of going back and either relating or trying to fix it, or even saying like, oh, I have. Well, that falls into relating. So either relating or trying to fix the situation. He just allowed them to talk to him, and he would just gesture or have gestures of listening during the entire conversation, and people would go back and be like, oh, I really love talking to him because he listened, and he just sat there and listened. So at the end, summarizing the book, it was, he didn't say much. All he did was let these people talk to him, and these people got a source of relief just by talking to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes some. If you remember the name of the book, send it to me in the DM. I read a lot
Yeah,
of books.
I'm gonna have to get that one so I can try to remember it.
Yeah. Dr. Hawk.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good in yourself, Doc?
Good.
So, Dr. Hawk, you said you may have a partner though that is a fixer. Though you have to understand that too. What do you mean by that?
So when you were talking about the conversations, and sometimes your partner just wants you to listen, but you got to understand too, if your partner is, you got some people, some relationships, some friendships where they feel like they always want to give a response, or they always want to give some type of solution when you're talking to them. So I guess you guys have to understand each other in that way, because if, like, for instance, like, I have to learn, because my children, they talk to me a lot, and as their mother and always the one fixing stuff, now that they're adults, I'm learning that they don't always want a response or an answer. So I have to teach myself to listen and wait for that question. But you know, if somebody's gonna always have something to say or something as a response, you may need to limit or find somebody else that you can talk to. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Yeah. So I had to learn that with like one of my best friends. We would get into these arguments because he would call me and complain about different aspects of his life, and I'd be like, "Yo, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that?" And he would always have a, "I can't do this because of that. I can't do that because of this, or I can't, or whatever." And I would get frustrated, and he would get frustrated. And then I started reading books on effective communication, right, and validation, and active listening, and those types of things. And then that's when it dawned on me, like, he's not telling me all of this to help him. He doesn't want my help. He just wants me to sit here and listen and be like, "Yeah, I feel you." And once I started doing that, we didn't really argue as much. Like, oh, okay, you know what? I feel you, dog. But it is difficult to speak from the fixer side, though. It is difficult to see someone you love, whether it's a spouse, your kids, or even it's just a friend or just somebody on the street. You know what I'm saying? To see them have what they perceive to be a problem, and in your mind is a simple solution, and you know this will work. It's very difficult to just sit there and watch them struggle. But I think that's what we have to do sometimes. But Dr. Hawk, let me ask you this: what's your opinion on scheduling?
I'm in a bad spot, so I didn't hear you say it again on scheduling. I know what the question is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right.
Schedule cool or corny.
So I think it's a lot of things. Using the word corny, though, I wouldn't say it's corny. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's mandatory. Um, Sometimes it could be scheduling could be a little dangerous, or it may hurt a relationship, because again, sometimes you may schedule, but one partner may not fall through and be like, well, we scheduled to do this, because they might be tired. You got to understand that. So it may hurt or harm in that sense, but I wouldn't say it's corny. That's not a
Mm.
word that I would use to describe it.
I mean, I just use that because it's two C's, cool or corny. It just sounds
The
better.
scene, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I get you. I get you.
But I know the last time it came up on a live, a couple people were like scheduling it. Like, nah, that thing need to be spontaneous. And in
It
my mind, like, well, your life must not be that busy.
right.
Because in my mind, I'll take the schedule. I'll take the schedule if that's what it is, and we'll make it work.
There
If
have been
it's for
times where I will say it's been a combination of both, and like early on, but when you get older, it becomes spontaneous to me, and that's just in my experience. Because
I think it's
again, if we go out, we're getting older. We're not old, but we're pushing close to 50. My husband and I, so we're not going to say let's schedule like we can't hang out as long as we used to no more. Like we're starting to feel we getting older. So if we scheduled it and planned it, and we both come home and we tired, so it's more spontaneous now as opposed to scheduling.
Mm. Tyrell, what were you gonna say?
I'm I was saying that I think it has to be a mix of both when you get to a certain level in your life. Like I don't have children yet, so I don't know how my schedule's going to look when I have children. But I know that me and my fiance right now, one, we're in a long distance relationship because she's in Ohio, I'm in Rhode Island. We only get but so much time to actually physically be in the same building with each other, even though that we're planning on getting married. So with that being said, yes, our time together is scheduled. And especially with us have traveled the last 8 weeks to different states and stuff and having meetings everywhere, we had to schedule out what we wanted to do and when we had time for it. So yes, a little spontaneous. I would never say you should not have it spontaneous, or that if you have random spontaneous intimacy moments, that your life isn't as busy as the next one. But sometimes you need to kind of have a juxtaposition. I would not suggest that only do it on your scheduled times. If you have a spontaneous moment and you feel the urge and both y'all are in the mood, go for it. There was a thing where they said that this couple had two statues in their bedroom or around their house, and when they would move the statues in certain manners, that meant that the other one was ready to be intimate. So you can do something like that where you can have an item in your bedroom, in your bathroom, wherever, and you move it to where these two figurines are facing each other, whatever, that you know that the other one's ready. So if you're ready to move, let's go.
So they had like they used the statues as a way of letting the other person know that they was ready.
Correct. And if they were apart, they knew that if neither one of them moved it, they knew that neither one of them was ready. But if one of them moved it, it was almost like an open door policy. Like it's here if you want it, but if you don't, it's also cool.
My statue just be ready.
Like my statue will always be ready, but let me just push this over here in the morning. You moved it in the afternoon. Let me push it back at night. Like I'm
My
gonna have
statue,
my statue always going.
my statue just be on the nightstand looking like, "Are you ready?" Hey, hey, Vicky, what's good?
What's good? What's good? God bless y'all.
How you?
I feel a little bit better. A little bit better.
Okay, well that's good. I'm glad that you're feeling better. What is your opinion on scheduling intimacy?
I wish I
Um,
would have looked at the title all the way.
is it cool or is it corny?
Oh my goodness. So you mean intimacy like intimacy, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so if I was in the act of doing this and I had a significant other, um, I believe either or is cool because I've been in a situation where, like you guys just said, like we both busy. You see me, I'm always on the run going. Um, and we were both busy, so we had to schedule and carve out time. What we're gonna do, we're gonna plan our night.
Oh, Vicky, I think you're breaking up. You must be by them Southern American trees again. Hey, Vicky. Earth to
Yeah, it's
Vicky.
real bad. I can't hear her.
Vicky. Oh, we lost Vicky.
No, but
Man,
I seen that there was a relationship that was on a relationship. I think it was on a TikTok, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's I think it's always good to have that moment or have something to indicate. Like, do something. If
put the
y'all
sock on.
schedule that, yeah, put a sock on the door. Like, I know with my fiance now, there's an emoji that we utilize that if we ready and we are apart, we'll send the emoji, and it's just the emoji. And it's nothing crazy. It's not like one of the standard emojis that you'll see on like all the other things. We decided to select another emoji so we're a little bit more discreet about it.
So
But
if see
we'll
it, they won't.
we'll send the emoji, and then we already know what time it is.
Mm. Yo, welcome to the show. How you feeling, my brother?
What's good, bro?
So you said you're an empty nester,
Yeah, man.
spontaneous. So y'all don't need no schedule. You just come home from work, throw your stuff off, and be like, "What time is it? Time for lunch.
It,
Time,
it,
time for lunch."
I'm telling you, like being an empty nester is rare. We might even have clothes on. Just walk around the house like whatever. It's a good feeling. But when my kids was younger, I might have to have that. We might have to pencil that in. I might have to have those days where it might be a Monday massage at 9 o'clock, or like I said, that Friday freak fest at 10. You gotta put it in the calendar.
Dr. Hope,
Yeah.
I assume you're an empty nester now too, right?
No, these kids still here, but they always out. These kids still here.
So but you can't you can't gamble the way my man Moreland can.
No, but I mean, they're, young adults, but they still here. But no, but my mother-in-law lives with me too, so no, I can't.
Ah, okay. So then let me ask you this: having that particular dynamic in your house, does that make you and Mr. Tom have to schedule it more after Mr. Tom go out and drive his Porsche? Remember we had the conversation about Mr. Tom and his Porsche. Once he's done driving his Porsche, does he call you while you're on the road and say, "Hey, baby, I'm gonna be home in a couple hours, so we need to go ahead and set that schedule up"?
No, we don't schedule. It's more spontaneous. So it's more spontaneous.
Oh, so that's
So
what I was. You said as you get older, it gets more spontaneous. You said that, right?
yeah, because because you might make plans and even talk all this trash to each other. By the time y'all get home, it's a different story.
You be
So,
tired, be ready to go sleep.
tired, yes.
Okay, hey, Moreland.
Yes, sir.
Um, if you could be okay, so you're an empty nester now. So that means you have kids, they no longer live with you. My man Tyrell is in a long distance relationship, but eventually he won't be. So what advice would you give him on what he's going to face once he has children? Because children definitely change the dynamic.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
He don't know what's about to happen.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, sometimes you gotta be creative. I mean,
You
this
do.
baby might be asleep, you know, laying with mom, and you gotta do what you gotta do. You know,
It's
it,
so funny because my husband used to tell my kids, me and mommy got to talk about Christmas.
yeah.
And it could be the song. And they like, okay, we're going to go to our room. So, yeah.
I'm gonna put
So
that one in the arsenal. We gotta talk about Christmas.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and the quiet, you learn how to be quiet when you need to be. Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
so my wife, one of the things we would say is we got to talk about the bills. We're like, mommy and daddy got to talk about the bills. That's one thing. And then the other thing, Tyrell said something earlier about the emojis. And I mean, it gets lost in time. It's not something we kept up with. But at one point, like let's say we were, over at somebody's house and it was a party or something, and we trying to let each other. I'm trying to let her know, like, yo, is it supposed to rain today? Was it supposed to rain tomorrow?
Yeah,
Had your little code word.
yeah, yeah. Well, I always laugh about these moments because like my kids were younger and we do, we finish and then they knocking on the door, they want to come in the room, they come in the room, then they all over the place, all in our bathroom and they went off in the bathroom like, don't touch that rag, don't use that one. Don't, don't use that.
That's not the one.
That's not the one.
So Tyrell, you're the one who hasn't been where the rest of us has been. So you gotta make sure you go back and watch. Go back. This is a chance for me to plug. This is your chance to get some information. You can go back on YouTube later on once the baby come and she starts telling you she tired or you gotta be quiet and all of that good stuff. You can pull this up on YouTube.
Oh, I plan on taking the wisdom because I know I haven't hit all the blocks on Monopoly yet, so I gotta take my wisdom pieces when I can. So trust and believe. I'm jotting them down up here.
Yeah, make sure you keep them because once the babies come, you're definitely gonna need it. So
I was like, unfortunately, like there was a time when my nephew was around, and like sometimes I keep my nephew for periods of time, and so there was definitely a couple of times when we had to rearrange some stuff before my nephew, because my nephew loved my nephew to death. Everyone, like my sister and everyone, calls him my nephew's son because he looks just like me, but we know he's not mine. And he will barge into my bedroom and be like, "Tai Tai," and I'm just like, "Nope, don't do that. Lock the door, please."
yeah, I locked the door. Hey, Dr. Hawk, your son in here.
Yeah.
You
Look,
think?
and I'm like, I want to ask him, at what time did he realize or did he know what his dad meant when he said, I want to talk about Christmas? Like, at what age did he realize what was
Think he'll come on the panel?
huh?
You think he'll come on the panel and talk to us for a minute?
No. I don't know. Kai, you still there? He switches in and out.
I don't think I lost. Nah, he's still in here. Hey, Dr. Hawk's son, Kai. He said he been new. He said y'all thought y'all had him fooled. He knew what the deal was. Hey, Moreland.
Yes, sir.
What was your I might have missed it. You might have told me already. What was your have you ever had like the secret emoji, secret password, moving statues, putting socks on the door type thing to let either the kids or the lady, the wife know like this was about to happen?
Let me see. I'm trying to think. We never really had to do that. I mean, I just kind of looked at it. She looked at me. We knew what it was. And we always made something up for the kids. Like, y'all got to go to bed early or, something. Say your prayers early tonight. Y'all about to go to sleep. Anything to get them settled down. Because we had a house full of kids. But we never had like a secret. Never had a secret code.
I like the secret code though. It's like an inside joke. You know what I'm saying? It works really cool because nobody knows. That's the we say, yep, send him to sleep. All right, so I gotta get Dr. Hawk's son in here because I got some questions for him. So somebody gotta drop him.
I'll drop out.
Both of y'all leaving?
Oh.
Hold on. He dropped. Appreciate you, Tyrell, my man. Sell all the houses you possibly can. Hold on. Dr. Hawk.
Yeah.
Tell your son to get back in here. I done had one of my guests who was with me through the whole show drop off so I could bring him on. And he not in.
All right,
Tell Tom to get on the horn and tell Kyle to get back in here so we can have him. Trying to find out what these kids really know. Yeah, it's all good. Let's bring Dr. J in. Let's see what Dr. J got. Dr. J got grandkids. Dr. J.
What's up?
Scheduling, is it cool or corny?
What's the question?
Scheduled intimacy, cool or corny?
I mean, I guess it's cool.
You get?
Yeah, I mean, I've never done it. I've never.
You've never scheduled it?
No,
Really?
really.
So when you say you've never scheduled it, you mean like you've never had it on a block schedule, like payday?
Nope, never.
Have you ever scheduled it ahead of time? Like, hey, I'm on the way home and tonight's the night?
Or
Those,
even, I was gonna say, or even if it was implied, like if y'all had a date night, you knew that when you was coming home, you knew what it was.
I mean, that's not scheduling though.
That's not, yeah.
Scheduling is like you like, hey, tonight, like that type of conversation. I've never had that type of conversation. Like in all the years that I've been with Rob, we've never scheduled since we've been.
okay. So let's say Rob comes to you and he says, hey, listen, I think it would be a good idea for us to block off specific time during the week for us to make sure we're intimate. What's your response to that going to be?
Mm, okay.
You, but
it'll
more like,
it'll be
you don't
okay.
sound too happy about that.
I mean, probably because it's not ever something that I've had to do. So that's probably why I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, I've never had to schedule it, so it would be something new, which I guess is spontaneous. If
The
you
schedule
calling me,
spontaneous.
I
The
I
scheduling
mean,
itself is spontaneous.
what you say?
The scheduling itself would be spontaneous, something new,
Right,
something
yeah,
spontaneous.
it would be something different. It would be something new. So normally when something's different and new in the relationship, it's like it's spontaneous. It's new. It's like refreshing per se.
You gonna say something?
I mean,
Go ahead, man.
What you say?
I mean, like the spontaneous is great, but I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes scheduling is cool also because it's like depending on how the day look throughout the course of the day. I'm like, y'all know I'm gonna get some cutty tonight, so I'm good. I'm good.
We
That's
still calling it cutty? I didn't know we was still using that word.
Now that's just a line from one of my favorite movies, ATL. But I'm like,
ATL, oh yeah.
that's what's gonna happen.
Okay. Oh, when they were sitting at the breakfast table. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
I know as a guy to know that that's on the schedule, I feel better.
Right.
Right. Got a stressful job, got kids, don't get a lot of sleep,
Yep.
and all of that good stuff. And then just the regular everyday sitting in traffic or this happened, that happened. But to know that there's like a pot of gold at the end of today's rainbow makes all of this stressful stuff a little less stressful because in your mind, you're like, none of this matters. None of
Nope.
this is going to matter 6 hours from now.
Yep.
Right. So I like the idea of scheduling. I mean, I pretty much agree with everybody in terms of I think it's cool to schedule. I think it's cool to be spontaneous. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, as a man, I don't know what it feels like to be a woman, but I know as a man, when I know it's coming, I feel better.
So
I,
do men really want to schedule cutty?
I don't know. I don't know if I was go as far to say that we want to schedule, but it feels good to know that it's coming, right? So like I liken it to food, right? You go to a restaurant and then when you go to a restaurant that you know and you know like okay, the entree the appetizer gonna be good, the entree, all of that gonna be good, the drinks gonna be good. And then in your mind, you like, boy, I'm waiting for that strawberry shortcake or that Rocky Road ice cream, vanilla ice cream milk. And that's the joint that just hit the spot. That's kind of how it is. You had some good stuff happen throughout the day, some bad stuff do happen out the day. But to know that that last little piece of dessert is coming, it makes the rest of the day kind of easier.
Oh, I don't know. I've never had to do it. So I'm like, oh, okay. Is that a new thing that we're doing now? I mean, are you scheduling because you're busy? Or are you scheduling because of the kids? Like, why are you scheduling? I
Well,
came in kind of late, so I didn't hear everything everybody said.
are you asking me specifically, or are you asking in general?
I'm asking the class.
Oh,
It was definitely kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Yeah,
definitely kids.
time it changes.
Your kids are grown, right? So they're
Yeah,
gone.
they are. Yeah, they are. That's what I was saying. They're grown, but my husband used to say we need to talk about Christmas to get my kids to kind of go.
Oh, that's why y'all had code words. I
That
was
was
popping.
cool. That was a cool. Yeah.
Okay, I got code words and stuff. Okay. Okay. No. The answer
mm,
to your question, I don't schedule.
And then
yeah.
then schedule like work schedule. Sometimes my husband's schedule doesn't always match up with mine. So
Oh,
mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not just the kids. Sometimes I think it's work. I think work and kids are the two main culprits.
Yeah.
Right.
right.
Now I will say whenever we did schedule it though, I was that type of employee. I didn't give out sick leave. So if it's on the books, we got to go through with this.
That's a good point. So Dr.
I was
Ho,
getting ready to say that. That was my question. Like, so what if you schedule and then this you schedule it, let's say you schedule it for later when you get home, but then she's tired or she like, trying to cut out on the scheduling. Then what? You reschedule?
Nah, we it's on the books. I already done planned this out.
Oh, you don't
I
get
didn't
no
picked out
reschedule.
the outfit, everything.
And that's why I said you where scheduling can be, it can be a problem because something may come up and
Right.
they have to
Yeah,
reschedule or cancel on you, and it's going to be a problem.
that's what I'm saying. Like, what if she, get tired? What if, she want to, what you reschedule? You keep rescheduling?
um, I mean, I've kind of had it expected and didn't happen, and you just take your L for the evening.
See, that's the thing. When you schedule it, you disappointed.
Yeah, you was mad for a little bit, right? Uh-huh.
um,
Right. You
yeah,
know,
I guess you could say that. I mean, I guess it depends because, like Moreland is saying, ain't no sick leave, right?
Yeah.
Um, I respect that. That's how it is. That's how it is sometimes. Other times, because you know what the person has experienced throughout their day, especially if you have it scheduled a day or two ahead, and then that person has the day to where they're kind of like, nah, like tonight ain't the night. And I don't really want no pity intimacy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what? It's cool. Don't worry about it. Know, I'll make my way through. I'll make my way through for the evening.
I'm sorry. That's what you gonna say.
I'm just you gotta do what you gotta do. So it's all good. What'd you say, Jay?
I said, okay, no. See the disappointment, because then you just scheduled it and now you disappointed, right?
But but that's life though, right? We schedule stuff. You Dr. J, you're gonna have appointments soon, and then you're gonna have people cancel, and you're just gonna suck it up and be done and deal with it.
Me, that's not a good analogy. Somebody scheduling to see me because they got heartburn is different from, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
the
but
heart.
the reward. So like Sam, my man Sam always say people hate metaphors. My point is obviously no metaphor is perfect. That's why it's a metaphor. My point is that you had something scheduled that was supposed to benefit you, right? And then you didn't get it. Now, of course, a client saying, "Oh, I can't come in," isn't as it's not gonna hurt you as bad as thinking you're gonna get some cheesecake and you're not getting your cheesecake. But the sentiment stands. You're not getting that Blue Cross Blue Shield Aetna check for that person's visit. So you can be like, if you have plans for that, then you're gonna be like, dang, I had plans for that. Dr. Hawk, what you got?
I was gonna say it's like scheduling a hair appointment, and your hairstylist call you like the morning of, be like, I'm gonna have to cancel your appointment. I can't take you. You know you had somewhere to go. You're gonna be mad. Now
I'm
you
getting
can't.
past that.
That's better, right? But
I'm like,
you can't be mad if you went in as a walk-in and didn't schedule it and you can't be seen. So,
But I mean, but you gonna be real, right? So if you had a moments where you know you about to face that disappointment, like when I was younger, and I get to that moment, I'd be like, you know what, it's okay. I knew me before I knew you, so I'm gonna make it things happen. You know, I'll be quiet. Don't worry about it. You go and get your rest.
Right. You like, all right, I'll see you later.
See you later.
We'll holler.
they spinning.
Oh, let me get Jay out of here because she's spinning. I don't know how that happened. So yeah, I'm tired, y'all. So I ain't gonna stick around too much longer. I need to get a little bit more sleep before I go to work tonight. So, Morland, you got anything in closing? Any advice on scheduling intimacy or anything? This is your first time on my show. Welcome
It
to the
is,
show,
man.
bro.
It is. Yeah, my man.
How you feel?
Good, brother. Good. I'm out here in training in Massanutten in training. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Cool. Well, enjoy. If you have any closing remarks, this is your moment.
man, you gotta do what you gotta do. Whether you put it on the books or be spontaneous, whatever works, but keep the relationship live.
Okay, Dr. Hope.
Do what's best at friendship. If you're busy, schedule. If you got kids, schedule. If not, it's okay to be spontaneous too. But
Okay, cool. So,
not corny.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. I cut you off.
That it's not corny. Scheduling is not corny.
Okay. So according to the great Dr. Hulk, scheduling intimacy is not corny. It's cool, but you still have to be aware that there could be the pitfall of disappointment if the hair appointment gets canceled. Now, Moreland's retort to that would be, I was doing my hair myself long before you came along to do my hair. And as much as I like how you do my hair because you give the good scalp treatment, I can do it myself and that'll hold me over until my next scheduled appointment. Do we all agree?
I agree with that.
All right. Cool. Today has been a good, fun show. I appreciate y'all carrying me through because I'm super tired. But to everybody who came on, I don't want to start listening because I don't want to forget nobody. But to everybody who came on, I appreciate y'all. Be good, be blessed, be safe, hug your loved ones, and schedule some cheesecake time. Take your power back. Peace.